Hey people, it is Thursday, March the 27th. The time is 4:24 in the afternoon. It's currently about 10 degrees Celsius. And I am in the wilds of Etobicoke here in the far west end of Toronto. Not too far from Toronto's boundary with Mississauga, which is just within easy walking distance of here, a bit further to the west. We're currently about 11 miles west of downtown Toronto. And I'm about to take a walk inside Sherway Gardens. It's been more than a couple of years since I was last here. I think going on 3 years. I've done one video previously here at Sherway Gardens. You might have seen that one back then. But I thought it was time to come back. There were a couple of things I wanted to check out since my last visit. Namely, the Hudson's Bay store, which is one of the anchors of the mall, which you can see over there, is currently undergoing liquidation. This is one of the stores that is slated to close. So in addition to taking a walk around the mall, I'll take a peek inside that Hudson's Bay store. I'm not sure what else has changed since my last visit. I think this is the temporary home of the Ontario Science Centre inside the space that used to be Nordstrom, because that's right, Nordstrom also pulled out of Canada since the last time I recorded here. So this space is being utilized as a makeshift science center for who knows how long. Kind of a sad situation, considering the science center as it was perfectly fine, and there was no reason to close it, no matter what the provincial government had to say. And you can make out Mississauga off in the distance, some of the tall condo towers at Mississauga City Centre. If that Canada Post van will move out of the way. There we go. Those are clustered around the Square One shopping centre there in Mississauga. But as for this mall, it opened in 1971 and is considered one of the major regional malls in the Toronto area and within the city of Toronto. Of course, back then, Etobicoke was one of the boroughs prior to amalgamation. And when the mall first opened back in 1971, it had about 800,000 square feet of retail space, but it's gone through a couple of major expansions and now has close to 1.2 million square feet of retail space and about 215 stores. And it has a kind of a unique layout with sort of intersecting circular concourses sort of forming a figure eight. So if you're not familiar with the layout of the mall, it's easy to get turned around. So I'll do my best not to cover the same part of the mall twice, although I'm not guaranteeing I won't do that.
6 days actually, like that's so the most I've done this year.
But I see the entrance to the Bay store right over here, so let's start off the walk by taking a peek inside the Bay. See how empty it looks after like several days of sales and liquidation. So it's not boding well for the mall since it lost the Nordstrom, which was an anchor store. And now it's losing the Hudson's Bay as well. Unfortunately, this Hudson's Bay so far is not one of the 6 that will be temporarily saved from closure. The main downtown store at Yonge and Queen is remaining open for now, as well as the one at Yorkdale Shopping Centre in North York, and another one at Hillcrest Mall in Richmond Hill, which is a suburban town in York region. So those are the only 3 Hudson's Bay stores in the Greater Toronto area that are staying open for now. All the rest are closing, unless some changes take place. Maybe more will be added to the list at some point that might remain open, but that is yet to be seen. So let's check this mall out, or store out here in the mall. Yeah, they have the signs up, store closing. Because according to some reports, depending on how things go, it's possible that additional stores will be added to the list of the 6 that might be staying open. The 3 here in the Greater Toronto area, and the other 3 in the Greater Montreal area. It's kind of sad. I won't spend too much time here in the Bay. I want to take a look at the rest of the mall. I did a walk around the flagship Hudson's Bay store in downtown Toronto recently. It's an enormous store. Only 15% off. I guess maybe they'll up the discounts as time goes on. Store closing, and an escalator that is not working, both up and down. $15 to 40% off. Those are the slowest stairwalkers I've ever had to walk behind. So was $6.99, now $4.19. Just a quick peek. Let's go back up. I've never spent so much time inside of a Hudson's Bay store as I have just in the last couple of weeks since news broke about all the possible closures. Sort of piqued my interest. That's probably why maybe the company is in trouble. Maybe a lot of people had not been inside a Hudson's Bay store in a long time. All right, I'll just go up. We'll take a peek and then I'll head out into the mall. I think this one has 3 levels. the store. I think the mall has 2 levels. So everything seems to be 15 to 40% off. It is decently busy. I wonder how it looked before all the sales. I'm guessing much, much quieter. The mall in general here is a fairly high-end mall. Not as high-end as Yorkdale, but certainly among the most high-end among the other regional malls. Within the city of Toronto, you have the Eaton Centre downtown. You have Yorkdale in North York. You also have Fairview Mall in North York. And Sherway Gardens here in Etobicoke. Those are the big regional malls. And outside of the city boundaries, you have other large regional malls such as Square One, as I mentioned, in Mississauga, and Vaughan Mills. And there's also Scarborough Town Centre within the city of Toronto too. Almost forgot about Scarborough. And there are a whole bunch of smaller neighborhood malls all throughout the city, in the mostly older 1960s and 70s era neighborhoods that built up around the old city of Toronto. I know there's another Hudson's Bay store at Centrepoint Mall in North York. And not only is that store going to be closing, but I think the entire mall will actually be closing for a new redevelopment. I did a video walking through Centrepoint Mall less than a year ago. It's still there for now. I'm not sure how much longer it'll be there. So let's check out the rest of the mall. Due to its location way out here on the edge of the city, I might only come to this mall once every several years. Here's some of the more high-end concourses. You can see an entrance to the Ontario Science Centre, as it is now. This is cool, like sails. This is a pretty huge Zara store. Looks like I'm gonna have to turn around here though. I just wanted to get a closer look at the entrance into the so-called Science Center from within the mall. I won't bother going in. Maybe that'll give me a reason to come back to the mall at another time. Who knows how long that'll be there before they actually do build the new Science Center. That's expected to be built around where Ontario Place is, but a sort of downsized, not as good version of Science Center we had. I just heard those women talking about it, saying that it was closed under false pretenses. And that's exactly what happened. They claimed it was structurally unsound, which is mostly nonsense. Nothing that a simple repair job couldn't have taken care of. But I think the Premier thought freeing up that land for residential development would help out a lot of his real estate buddies. I'm not really paying attention to the layout as I'm walking along here. I'm just sort of taking any interesting looking concourse that I see. Smells good walking past this section here. There's an Eataly over there. Yeah, some cool places to sit here. Looks like a new Tiffany store is coming to this section. And here's the Saks Fifth Avenue. I imagine this is closing as well. What a blow to the mall. Saks Fifth Avenue is owned by the Hudson's Bay Company. So they have the same liquidation sales taking place in here, I imagine, as in the Bay store. Entire store, 15%, store closing. This one looks a lot emptier and more cleared out, just on first glance anyway, than the Hudson's Bay store. So after this is gone and the Hudson's Bay store is gone, that'll be 3 major anchors all lost just within the last few years. Hopefully the mall can bounce back. Just a quick peek inside the Saks store while it's still there. Conspiracy, comics, games, and anime. I remember this from my last video I did a few years ago. I did that walk with Megan through the mall here. So anyone who might have missed that one, if you'd like to check out a mall tour with Megan. But make sure you watch this one first and then go back in time. Here's the Pottery Barn. And there's the Apple store. So for the most part, this is just a 1-level mall. I thought I remembered a 2-level section from my previous visit, but it's apparent now that the vast majority of the mall is actually laid out as a single-level mall. All right, we're back here again. I didn't go this way yet. You can see how all these concourses intersect here, and they all seem to go in different directions. Cool looking Canada Goose store. Hello. She was posing for the camera. I don't know if I caught that in the video. I guess we'll find out later. This is another very upscale concourse here, reminiscent of Yorkdale Mall. Unlike this mall, Yorkdale will be retaining its Hudson's Bay and Saks Fifth Avenue stores. It's a pretty sizable looking Indigo bookstore. It's So here's where I remember seeing that second level. It just covers a small portion of the mall. I think the food court is up there. I'll just go up and then back down again. We'll just take a quick peek at the food court.
Do I have one?
All kinds of tasty aromas wafting down here.
No, I know it won't be. So it's
It's quite big. Also reminds me of the Yorkdale Shopping Center. Their food court is also on the second level, arranged in a very similar fashion to this. So that's another mostly one-level shopping mall. Some views. Suburban big box stores across the street. All right, I think we've seen all there is to see of the food court. There's a huge Sporting Life store, it takes up 2 levels, and the Indigo I noticed also has a second floor. They still have a Samsung store here, unlike at the Eaton Center downtown. Their Samsung store closed down and became a bank of all things. There's the huge Sporting Life store. Massive H&M. A ginormous Gap. I wonder if Roots is seeing increased business lately since it's a well-known Canadian-owned company. You would think maybe the Hudson's Bay would have benefited also, but I think the current political climate was cited as one of the reasons why their sales have been impacted negatively. That has led to the current situation. So there's heading into the Hudson's Bay store again. Flip-flop shop. the current Tiffany. Kate Spade. And back to center court here. For those who have been here in years past, was there something else here at Center Court before, like a reflecting pool or a fountain or something? It sort of looks like that's what should be there. And now it's just this sort of open plaza. A bit underwhelming, I guess. I guess it's a good place for kids to run around while their parents take a load off. So we already went down that way. Purdy's Chocolatier. You have the most commonplace mall retailer, I think, in Canada. You see that in malls of all shapes and sizes, and whether they're mid-range, high-range, neighborhood malls, regional malls. Every mall has a Claire's. And also a Shoppers Drug Mart. We're back at the bay again. I think I've lost track of which concourses I've walked along now. I think I've covered most of them all. I might have missed a concourse or two. This bizarre layout, it's not always easy to know exactly where you've been. They do have these here. Kind of helpful, I guess. Yeah, I remember walking past these stores before. Here's the flop shop again. I was just here. So maybe I'll make my way back the other way towards the bay. Or does this take me back to center court over here? Yeah, I literally just walked through here like 5 minutes ago. This might be a good signal maybe to start thinking about getting out of here. I'm stuck in some sort of loop. It's like an episode of The Twilight Zone. Because now here we are back at center court again. Well, if there's more to this mall, I probably covered it in my previous video I did a few years ago with Megan, so if I'm missing anything, check that other video out. It's bound to be in that one, maybe.
But that's fine. I'll just
I think here at Center Court is a good spot to wrap up the video. So I hope you enjoyed the tour of the Sherway Gardens shopping mall and also a look inside the Hudson's Bay Company store and the Saks Fifth Avenue store as they're undergoing liquidation. Might be my last ever video inside those stores while they're still open. So leave a comment down below, let me know your thoughts. And be sure to like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already done so. And also make sure you hit that notification bell so that you don't miss any of my videos. And if you'd like to support the channel, there are links in the description where you can do so via PayPal as well as via my merch store. And you can also support the channel by becoming a channel member or by sending a super thanks if you prefer. And you can find me on Instagram also under KContinuum. So thanks for watching, and thanks to all the channel members. And be sure to keep checking back, because as always, I will continue.